Hi, my name is Alejandra Valenzuela. Thank you so much for coming to watch this video about spiritual guardians. Thank you for everyone who is liking and commenting or sending me private messages to give me feedback about some of the content that I'm sharing, and I just really appreciate it. Oh, we've got some birds singing in the background. Awesome. So this topic about spiritual guardians, I felt called to say something about it, and I am always in a process of learning and discovery. So I don't consider myself an expert. I just want to make sure that's clear. But I have learned a thing or two along the way, and a memory popped up recently, and it was like this epiphany about a specific type of spiritual guardian that I like to call bodyguards. I should maybe start by saying there are all kinds of guardians. I mean, it's an archetypal role. If you think about it, you're born into this world, you have physical guardians, your parents, your family, your loved ones, the community that you're in, people who take care of you. And it is no different in the astral. And that's something that, maybe you're watching this video and you're well along your spiritual journey that you understand this. Or maybe you're just starting out. And, for me, I never really thought about it like that before. So whatever happens in this physical 3D world, it essentially, there's so many examples of it being mirrored in a spiritual sense, in other realms and other dimensions. So we are born with those guardians as well, not just the physical ones here that we can see. I think most people know the term guardian angel, right? That's very easy. That's a very easy concept. It's widely accepted too, whether people believe in angels or not. They've heard of that term, and it probably doesn't sound weird. Your loved ones who pass away, they are now on the other side. They always come back to check on us, and they become, in a sense, one of your spiritual guardians. I have a brother who passed away, and he has been very present with me. I can share with you that my relationship with him feels stronger than ever. I don't have him in the physical sense, and there is that sadness. But I know that whenever I reach out, if I set an intention saying, and I say to him, I need to talk to you, I need you to come, he will. And he guides me. He guides me along my path. He'll show up in some of my spiritual works, and I'm always tripping out, like, seriously, I cannot believe you just did that. He's like so powerful over there. They have such cool powers. They can manipulate electronics super easy. That's like basic standard. When they get to be a little more advanced, they can even move things around. So if you have any loved ones that you miss, that you honor in your heart always, that's someone you can reach out to all the time. So they're there for you. But this one, these bodyguards, right? I didn't really understand this well until, I don't even know if I understand it well, but I didn't understand this at all until maybe about a year ago, maybe a little less than a year ago. And I was in Brazil, and I was getting a healing session done with this medium who had a very particular gift. She was really talented. Her niche specifically is psychic surgeries, psychic interventions, and she would channel. There would be, the message comes through and she just sort of repeats it. And at some point in our session, because a lot of entities came in, but she said something, and I am paraphrasing, and I don't even know if she used the word bodyguards, but that's how I remember this. And she said something like, your bodyguards will never come down to talk to me. I will never give you a message from them because they're working and they cannot afford to lose focus. And so when she told me this at first, it was the first time I had ever heard, like, wait a minute, what? Like, I have bodyguards, like security detail in the astral realm? And I just sort of sat with it, right? And for me, it takes me a while to process things. So here it is, almost a year later. And I had this epiphany, this memory came through. And I'm pretty sure it is the first time I've ever experienced their presence. I didn't know this at the time, but now I'm recognizing it, and that's one of the cool things too. When you have a spiritual awakening, like when you really break open and things start unfolding and presenting themselves, and your consciousness shifts, you will be able to look back on your life and see how beautiful the divine works. And you will understand these moments from a different, a new lens. So this memory, I was probably like around 10 years old. And I was on vacation somewhere with my family. I can't remember where, but it was summertime and we were by a pool. And I have this vivid memory of a pool on my right-hand side, and I'm running alongside of it. And at some point, it was wet on the ground, and there wasn't much traction. It was a slippery pavement, and my foot slipped as I'm running full speed, and I am immediately flung to the left, and I'm falling fast towards the concrete. And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, my position, my trajectory, it was like someone pushed me, but I can't necessarily say I fell to push. It happened so quickly. But all I know is 1 second I'm going this way, and the next I am flipped around, like I looked like a fish out of water, and I fell to my right and then landed in the pool. And it was really embarrassing. It was not like a graceful hit. It was one of those slaps, like a side flop. You know, when you hear that noise and people are like, ah, it makes you cringe. That's how hard this fall was. And I remember being super groggy, like, huh? And I was coming out of the water, and when I could finally see the people around me, they were all laughing. Was so embarrassed. You know, I was so embarrassed because it probably was just that odd and funny that all of it, you know, every time I've ever fallen, I've fallen the way I was already headed. I have never mid-fall, like even whereas my body, my weight is leaning this way, somehow magically flipped over and taken, you know, a tumble the other way. And so I'm realizing now, I really do feel like that was divine intervention. I think it was my bodyguards, and I think it's so cool. I wanted to come on and share that. And you know, if you set an intention, you can develop your relationship with them. So I've set an intention. I've set an intention on lots of things. You know, just connection overall. I mean, maybe that's the base of my intention, right? And with it, you know, think of it like this beautiful tree. Think of all the different branches of what that means. I mean, so I've set an intention to be connected to the divine, to source, and strengthen and unify and unite as much as I fully can in this human experience with what I truly am, with the almighty I am, right? The one love. So something happened recently which also made me think like, am I talking to them more? Or like, here's the thing, I don't really understand how I receive my information when I'm not doing like a specific spiritual work. right? When I'm just going about my day. So if something happened recently, and I got into my car, and I was going on a very short trip. I mean, I'm talking like maybe 2-3 miles max. But for whatever reason, when I got into my car, I I looked up and I asked my angels to protect me. And I didn't use the word bodyguard, I just said angels. I said, angels, I, uh, I don't know why I feel called to speak to you now, but just can you look after me during this trip? Make sure I get there safely, that I come back in one piece, that everything's good. So I just sort of let it go, started driving, and I'm headed to this store. And I come to an intersection where it's all traffic light. So I'm I'm stopped at a red light, and I'm gonna make a right-hand turn. And I look to my left to see the other street and what the oncoming traffic looks like, and I see this white car. And for whatever reason, I said, okay, I'll go after that car. So I was in no rush. I was just like, it was just like, okay, I'll go after that car. And what I didn't understand, though, is that the light had changed for me. So it turned green and it turned red for them. And there was a car behind me, and the car honked. But for whatever reason, so I looked up and I said, oh, the car's honking. Oh, it's green. Huh. I'll wait for the white car. And all of a sudden, the white car ends up blowing the red light. And as it's passing me, I'm like, oh my God, he did not stop. Like, oh my God. And immediately I'm looking up at my angels and I'm like, thank you. Thank you. I don't know if you sent me something that I felt, or we're just more aligned. I don't understand how this communication is happening. But I do know that I have set an intention to be connected to them. And I thought it was something to share, because if we don't ask, no one's going to intervene with our free will. So it's important. It's important to request things. It's important to say things and speak them out if you can. I mean, if you want to communicate with your guardians, with your guardian angels, with your bodyguards, anyone in the spiritual realm, you just have to think it and they'll hear you. But anytime that you can, I recommend, and what I love to do is to speak it out, because there is power in using your voice. There is power in giving it sound and presence and energy, so that it's a transmission and it sends it out in a very powerful way. So that's what I wanted to share. So God bless all of your spiritual guardians. God bless all of your loved ones who passed away and are looking after you. They can hear you. You guys, it is their job. When we ask them to do something, it is their job. But, the big but. Some of you might be thinking, well, if we have this security detail and we have this protection all the time, then why do bad things happen to us? And it's a great question. And all I can tell you in my limited understanding is that our soul signs up for certain contracts, certain lessons, certain plans that we've come here to accomplish. And it may not make sense when we're down here. You will not believe the kind of stuff that our souls agree to up in the astral realm, because there's no judgment up there. But all of a sudden we get down here, and now I'm Alejandra in my human form, and I'm like, say what? Sister, you crazy. You crazy. Because I would never agree to that shit. But from a soul level, there is no judgment, and it is all about creation and the journey. So, and essentially everything is just a teacher and a moment and a teaching to bring us closer back to our original source, which is love. It's all about love. So I hope that explains it, if anyone was wondering. Traumatic experiences can happen, painful moments can happen. And once the victimhood sort of leaves, once that archetype, that paradigm leaves, and the healing can really take place, there's a lot of gratitude I have for how adventurous and how brave my soul is. And we're all the same. You are incredibly courageous for coming here to Earth, but you didn't come alone. You have people in the 3D realm, and you've got your spiritual guardians in the ethers. So stay blessed, and I send you lots of love. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.